What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video I will be going over all of the challenges here in the Off-Roading Addict Volume 2 playlist. This did end up releasing yesterday in the game, and I have to admit it is probably one of my favorite playlists in the game so far. Luckily, all the challenges in this one are going to be fairly simple, but there is going to be one challenge I did have issues with that I'm also hoping everybody else did, which probably sounds kind of odd. But the reason for that though is I want to make sure it is not just me with it. So this one right here, guys, finish 3 events with a crew. You're probably going to be like, well, that's pretty dang easy. All you will have to do is jump into the regular 392 with somebody else, jump into any of the events, for example, one of the donk events that take a minute, do that 3 times and boom, it's completed. Here's the issue though, I couldn't actually join the event because every time my friend would join on me, we would go to start the event, it would basically give us a black screen the entire time. And I do admit, it was pretty dang frustrating due to one simple thing. We are around 10 months in and we still can't join a crew and do an event. Honestly, I really hope they actually get that situated in the November update, or at least that really needs to be in there. But besides all that though, let's jump right into this right now, guys. Now, as always, every single challenge is going to be time-stamped. So if you are looking for a specific one, they will all be in the description below, or at least, in the main timeline thing. But nonetheless, jumping right into this. So the first challenge, though, the Wilder Rally. Accumulate 6.2 miles driving on dirt roads with any rally. So for this, all you guys will basically have to do is go on any of the main dirt roads around the entire map in any said rallycross vehicle of your choice. All you will then basically have to do is drive for 6.2 miles until you get this challenge completed. And then moving over to the next challenge, though, you'll have to win the Big Trouble in Little Mauna in rainy weather. This also has to be done the new Ivory Tower Falcon S1000. So there is something I did want to show with this guy. So heading over to the event here. Now I'm sure a lot of players know exactly how to pick their car and stuff like that and change the weather in this. But just in case, I did want to go over this real fast for the newer players, or if you might have been a bit confused on this. So when looking at this menu though, the first thing you will have to do is move this over to custom. Now this does actually ask you for rainy weather. The way I did do this though is head over to midday, guys. You will see the cloud with like the rain thing there. And then if you did want, you can also add a modifier if you'd like to, but doesn't really matter on this because you're not really going after money on it. The other thing I did end up doing though is always keep the difficulty on level 1. The reason for that is you're most likely trying to fly through the challenges, so don't make them more annoying than they actually have to be. After that though, simply head over to the vehicle you must use, which for this one though, all you will then have to do is head over to the Ivory Tower Falcon S1000 Adventure Edition. Simply click on this thing, which is also going to be a side-by-side, not sure why they didn't call it that. Then from there, all you will then have to do is start this event up and get this challenge completed. And now moving over to the next challenge though is going to be fairly similar to the other one. For this one, all you will have to do is win the wetter world in sunny weather. So similar to that one, guys, simply head over to the event. The setting I actually did on this one though is probably going to be a tad different because it's not asking for rain, it's asking for sunny weather. So for this one, I did end up going with the dawn one here that's going to have the sunny thing active, and that was able to complete this. And then for the next challenge though, you will have to spend 1 minute in a row in first position in the Car vs. Wild event. That's going to be in the Off-Roading Addict Volume 1 playlist. So for this, all you will simply have to do is grab the lovely Jeep Wrangler from the main playlist here, jump into this event, guys, and again, I would recommend having this on level 1. That way getting in front is going to be quick, and that way if you did crash or something, you are still going to remain in first that entire minute to get this completed. But moving over to the next challenge though, we have Apply 1 Vanity. Now I do know for a fact a lot of players looked at this one and went, "Aw no man, here we go." And you know what, I had the exact same thought. Luckily though, this challenge is actually going to work compared to most of the other ones that don't, which is kind of odd. Like I thought they would actually add this one in, then that would break. But no, instead we have all the other challenges in the other playlists that are broken. Luckily this one does work. For me though, I did actually have to apply 2 vanities for this one to count. And then for the next challenge though, we have empty your entire nitro gauge 3 times in the Gear Valley event. This one is also going to be in the Off-Roading Addict Volume 1 playlist. So luckily these challenges are going to be fairly simple. All you will have to do is jump into the regular 392 Adventure Edition, head into this event guys, let that nitro gauge get all the way up, make sure you can stay in like 4th or 5th gear and just slam that nitrous down, let it go all the way back up, and you will easily get this challenge completed. And then for the next challenge though, win Off-Road Island in the Off-Roading Addict Volume 1 playlist while in rainy weather. This one is actually going to be basically identical to the other two, to where all you will have to do is head over to the set event. Again, for this one I would actually recommend heading over to the one that does say midday. Make sure you guys see the cloud with the little drops coming out of it, and you'll get this one completed. And then for the next challenge, the Wilder Biker, all you will have to do on this one is basically wheelie for 0.6 miles. You don't have to do like a 0.6 mile wheelie in one run, but you'll basically have to accumulate 0.6 miles while doing a wheelie. For this, I actually decided to use the lovely Ducati Hyper Motard, and you basically can be on a dirt road or basically going up a mountain. As long as you're actually doing a wheelie, you'll get this one completed. And then moving over to the next challenge, the Wilder Runaway. All you will have to do on this one is complete 5 escape feats. You will also have to use the Falcon S once again. There is one thing I have to show on this challenge though, because I did get a good amount of questions on the previous one. If you guys are actually in the game and you're not seeing the main skills show up on the map, make sure you head over to your game settings and also make sure the world tags are on and not off. Funny thing is, if they're actually off, you can drive around and not hit them, but if you are looking to do some of the challenges, this has to be on. Besides that though, heading over to the map, the best escape I found to do is still probably going to be my favorite one for every single challenge in the playlist. That is going to be right here guys, very close by to the Ford Island, right by Honolulu. And then for the next one, we have the Wilder Velocity. Drive above 62 miles an hour for 10 seconds in a row on dirt roads. Funny thing is, I actually did this challenge while doing one of the events that you have to complete in the Mini Cooper. I would say the best way to do this one though is most likely find an open dirt road somewhere. If you guys actually might be looking for a good open road to do this one on, the best place I actually found is going to be located in this area. Luckily, I would say this is easily going to be one of the best ways to do it. Simply spawn here, and you can actually follow this dirt road basically all the way in this direction, and it's actually going to be fairly open around 70 miles an hour to get this one completed. And then for the next challenge though, we have the Wilder Drifter. Accumulate 1.2 miles of drift on dirt roads. This also has to be done in the Mini Cooper S. So the best place I actually found to do this one is going to be very close by to the other challenge, where you actually have a bunch of dirt roads that are basically all over the place. So simply head over here guys. You can spawn here at the Tallahassee Melee, or spawn over by this main feat here. You can head up to this way and actually go left instead of going straight. Head up this mountain and go around every single turn, follow this way around, and do the same thing over in this area. If you also wanted to, you can head over to this side here, which has a lot more turns, and that way you can actually get the 1.2 miles done insanely quick. And then moving over to the next challenge, the Wilder Snake. Complete 5 slalom feats. Now this one is going to have to be done in the regular 392. Luckily, it's going to be very easy to do them. You also do not have to have a score breaker to get this done. The best slalom I would recommend here though, guys, is going to be here in Chinatown in Honolulu. This one's going to be insanely quick, and it's also very easy. And then for the next challenge, though, we have the Wilder Speedster. Drive from the Mauna crater to Koolauloa in less than 6 minutes. Now, I'm sure a lot of players might look at this one and go, what? That's going to be pretty difficult. Turns out it's actually going to be pretty dang easy. So simply head over to the main crater here. You guys can actually spawn on this and then switch over to your car. That way you're on the top of it. From here, though, you're going to have to head all the way over to Koolauloa. It is going to look pretty far, guys, but I am going to show you the route I did end up taking and also the fastest way to get there. I do figure that's most likely going to be the best way. Like, yes, you can probably follow the roads, but I would say you're going to be driving a rally race, so why not cut most of the mountain to get there even quicker? And then for the next challenge, the Wilder track, so have to drive from Mauna Observatory to the resort without jumping. Now, I'm sure a lot of players look at this and go, wait, without jumping? And yes, this is not kidding, by the way. So simply head over to this event here, guys, and basically drive up toward the observatory and leave from right here. So for this, I do actually have an entire waypoint all the way to the resort, and I have to recommend something. Definitely follow this all the way there. Do not take the mountains. Do not jump off of them. Make sure you guys actually follow the road all the way there. And also, do not go too insanely quick, though, because if you barely catch any air whatsoever, you will have to completely restart this one. To be honest, it's not difficult because there's no time limit on it, but it is definitely not kidding on without jumping because you will instantly have to redo it. And then for the next challenge though, we have the wilder jumps. Accumulate 15 seconds of airtime. So I'm sure a lot of players might look at this and go, okay, that's not too difficult, and you are going to be 100% correct. The best place I found to do this though is probably going to sound a bit hilarious because it doesn't actually make sense, but head over to the Gymkhana Grid Park. Simply head over to the corner of this area here, guys, basically spawn here. Jump down until you guys are basically facing this way. From there though, all you will then have to do is basically head straight this direction and hit this gigantic jump here. Once you actually hit the ground, you can use the rewind feature. It will bring you back all the way till this area. Basically keep hitting that until you get the 15 seconds completed.
Be kind, rewind.
And then for the next challenge though, accumulate 9.3 miles of off-road driving. I would say this one is probably going to be fairly straightforward. I also do believe you can actually get part of the progress on this one while doing some of the races in the regular 392. But simply for this one though, basically head over to your favorite dirt road or actually drive basically anywhere but the road and you'll get this one completed. And now moving over to the next challenge, we have the Wilder Explorer. Visit the Mauna crater in rainy weather. Now I'm sure a lot of players might look at this one and go, bro, are you serious? Rainy weather? I actually have to wait for a storm? The funny thing is you actually don't have to. So head over to the crater right over here, guys. Funny thing is it is raining right now, but head over to the crater right now, basically spawn here in your plane, and then head into the Jeep. Once you guys are actually down here, basically go into photo mode and move the main weather thing over to midday. The second I actually did that one, I got the challenge completed. So you don't have to wait for the rain, but if it is raining, then simply head over to the crater. But if it's not, all you will then have to do is go into photo mode and you'll still be able to get this one completed. And then for the next challenge, the Wilder Spin. Drive off-road from the Turtle Bay Beach to the Turtle Rock. So this challenge is actually going to be fairly simple. All you will have to do is head over to the Turtle Bay Resort here. Keep in mind though, I would actually recommend spawning or at least driving over to the beach from spawning from this location and then heading over here. From there guys, basically stay on the beach all the way up until the Turtle Rock. I would actually recommend making sure you do not touch the road at all and always make sure you're actually off-road. Luckily the Turtle Rock is going to be fairly close by, located right over here.
Visualize your next objective and let's go.
And then for the next challenge though, we have the Wilder Manners. Collide with opponents 10 times in Life of Pierce. And if you are wondering, yes, that legitimately says you have to crash into the other racers. Now the funny part about this one though is you don't have to crash into 10 different racers. Instead, all you actually have to do is crash into one of the opponents 10 different times. I was actually basically stuck on one of the opponents and the entire bar kept going up. So what I would recommend doing, guys, is run into all of them until you get this one completed. And then for the next challenge, we have the Wilder Timing. Finish the KTM Strikes Back again in less than 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So for this one, all you will actually have to do is jump into this event. And what's hilarious, guys, I legitimately got this one done while driving the Mini Cooper maxed out. And I managed to get it done in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So I would say getting this done in less than 4 minutes should be pretty dang simple. And then for the next challenge, perform 3 backflips in Boys in the Mud. So for this, I would actually recommend picking a motocross bike. For me, I actually did end up using the Kawasaki KX, but it really doesn't matter which bike you actually run. For this though, the first jump you actually see in this event though, you can jump that. Make sure you guys actually hold down the square button on PlayStation. And then for the Xbox, I believe that's going to be the X button. Do let me know in the comments below because I'm not 100% sure on that. But with this though, you can actually spin faster and easily get one backflip done. And if you guys did want to, I would actually recommend restarting the race and hitting that first jump 3 times to get this one done. Moving over to the next challenge though, we have drift 20 times in Green Planet. So I would actually say this challenge is going to be a lot easier than what it actually seems like. All you will have to do is head into the Green Planet event and basically drift back and forth 20 times to get this done. Funny thing is, if you actually hold a drift around some of the bigger corners, it's actually going to make the bar keep going up. That way you don't have to keep drifting back and forth to get this one done. And then for the next challenge though, finish the Waimea Sky in the Off-Roading Addict Volume 1 playlist. I would actually say this one is probably going to be fairly simple because all you legitimately have to do for this challenge is start this one up, finish it, and you'll get it completed. And now finally, moving over to the last 2 challenges. The first one here is going to be find all the backpack collectibles located along the mountain ridges. After that, guys, we're going to have find all the bear claws located near the Off-Roading Attic Volume 2 pass.